Hello everyone, you're now watching the Nightline. 4 illegal immigrants attempt to enter the state through illegal routes in Deported were foiled by the Malaysian Armed Forces on Monday night.
According to the 1st Infantry Division headquarters, upon interrogation, all 4 men revealed that they came from Antikong, Indonesia, and that they wanted to come to Kuching in search for jobs. All 4 illegal immigrants have since been deported. In the span of 2 weeks, the Malaysian Armed Forces have made 2 deportations involving 8 illegal immigrants who entered the state through illegal routes along the Deported-Kalimantan border. The modus operandi of the illegal immigrants is to cross the border at night or early in the morning.
Meanwhile, 30 illegal routes have been identified as hot zones for illegal immigrants to carry out smuggling activities along the border. The routes are believed to originate from Teluk Melano all the way to Nangga Badau.
3rd Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Dato Azhar Ahmad said the routes were near the Immigration, Customs, Quarantine and Security Complex ICQS and near Tebedu, Serikin, Biawak and Lubok Antu. He revealed that the illegal routes have been the main choice for illegal immigrants to enter Sarawak since the temporary closure of the Sarawak Indonesia ICQS was implemented due to COVID-19. However, he said so far the entry and egress activities of illegal immigrants were successfully controlled by the 3rd Brigade. He further said the manpower for control operations had been increased by 140 personnel.
Malahan kita sebenarnya menambah lagi kekuatan anggota kita daripada optras yang kita ada mengawas padan tu kita tambah dengan op kerangka di mana kita tambah lebih kurang about 1 company plus kalau ikutkan dalam strength dalam 140 orang lagi kita tambah daripada yang original kita hantar. Malahan kita pun dah saya rasa berjaya lah. Pada saya kita berjaya menghalang kemasukan dan juga menghalang yang PATI yang berada di Indonesia untuk keluar daripada Malaysia. Kita punya modus operandi kita buat pengintipan dan juga kita akan buat sekap, ya, kita akan buat sekap tertangkap dan kita akan serahkan secara laporan polis dan kita lepaskan mereka balik ke sempadan.
He said this in a press conference in Kampung Pakit A in conjunction with the Jiwa Murni program on Saturday. He added intelligence teams were also sent to hot zones along the border to help prevent illegal activities from happening. Meanwhile, he said any illegal immigrants arrested will be handed over to the police first to be recorded before being deported to their original country via the border.
Kita paling risau yang sekarang keadaan sekarang ni takut ada parti bawa pandemik COVID-19 ni. Itu yang kita risau. Dan apa-apa hal kita halau dan tak ada sentuhan daripada anggota kepada pendatang-pendatang asing ni untuk mengelakkan daripada jangkitan atau sebagainya. Kita tak tahu sebab kita tak ada KKM yang bersama-sama kita. Jadi dulu waktu mula-mula dilancarkan kita memang tangkap, serah pada polis dan bantu polis untuk bawa mereka untuk buat saringan COVID. Tapi sekarang dah tak ada sebab kita nak memudah carakan kita halau mereka keluar terus daripada itu tanpa sentuhan daripada anggota. Kalau nak cek apa sekalipun, suruh mereka letakkan IC ke pasport ke apa atas tanah dan anggota kita akan ambil, tengok, ambil daftar, kita lepaskan mereka sana. Kecuali barang-barang yang merupakan barang-barang kawalan, kita rampas.
General Operations Force personnel on duty at the Malaysia-Thailand border in Perlis was killed and another was critically injured in a shootout with smugglers. Without revealing further details, Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bador confirmed the incident. However, 3 suspects who were involved in the shootout have been detained by Thailand police while they were seeking treatment at Hospital Hat Yai in Thailand. Commander of the 5th Infantry Division, Major General Santi Sakun Tanak said the trio, 1 in critical condition and 2 were injured, are now detained for further investigations. According to a statement by Home Minister Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin, the personnel identified as Corporal Baharuddin bin Ramli. he died on the spot, while his comrade, Corporal Norihan Tari, was badly injured and has been sent to the Tuanku Fauziah Hospital in Kangar. He added an initial investigation found that the two GOF personnel were engaged in intelligence work at the location. They were set up a pond by two groups of smugglers believed to comprise locals and foreigners. Hamza said he was informed that the shootout occurred at about 3 a.m. along border wall TVS 9 in Padang Besar, Perlis. Starting with just 3 positive cases that were reported on January 25th, Malaysia's cumulative COVID-19 cases have now gone past the 52,000 mark, while active cases have reached a new high of over 13,000. Globally, Malaysia is at the 84th spot among the list of countries hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, with a total of 56,659 cases recorded as of today.
Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said in a media conference that 3 states recorded the highest number of new cases today. Namely, the cases were from Sabah, Selangor and Negeri Sembilan. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 patients discharged from the hospital remained high this week. 21 deaths reported between November 14 and November 20, which occurred in Sabah. Perak reports 4 fatalities and Johor 1 during the same period. On a worldwide coverage, the total number of COVID-19 cases stood at 57,324,000 cases. According to the breakdown of today's cumulative patient under investigation cases, Sarawak recorded a total number of 10,572 cumulative cases, with emerging 9 new patients under investigation. Kuching recorded the highest in current cases, with 17 deaths cases on the current status. According to the State Disaster Management Committee, SDMC, a new COVID-19 cluster has been identified in Sarawak, involving the Demak Laut and Batu Lintang areas in the Kuching district. It said all 3 new cases reported in Sarawak on Wednesday, November 18, were linked to the new Besi cluster, bringing the state's tally of confirmed cases to 1,045. The committee also said there are 6 active clusters in Sarawak, including the Besi cluster. The others are the Jalan Ebel cluster with 15 cases, Baki cluster, Seladah cluster, Green Hill cluster, and Wisma Sabekas cluster. All cases have been admitted to the Sarawak General Hospital for treatment. However, an exemplary amount of 93.08% of total number of cases have been discharged nationally.
Minister of Housing and Local Government, Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, urges pet owners to make sure that their dogs are vaccinated to prevent the spread of rabies virus. According to him, rabies can be prevented by getting yearly vaccination provided for free by the Sarawak government.
Dr. Sim said that the spread of the rabies virus can be controlled with the public's cooperation, especially the pet owners. Dr. Sim stresses that although the country is still facing new challenges in handling the COVID-19 pandemic, the threat of the rabies virus will not be neglected. Nonetheless, awareness amongst the citizens the dangers of rabies needs to be increased. He said that he reviewed the latest case of rabies in Sarawak had taken the life of a 16-year-old teenager. So far, this is the 6th case recorded of rabies death since its first outbreak on the 31st July 2017. The people of Sarawak need to play their role seriously to prevent the transmission of rabies because too many resources had been utilized in order to curb the spread of the disease since 2017.
Welcome back. Made in Malaysia logo is a form of recognition for business items or products sourced and produced locally and acts as to prioritize Malaysian goods. This is one of the components undertaken by the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs at enhancing Malaysians' interest to consume Malaysian products in the market.
Sarawak Chamber of Bumiputera Entrepreneurs, DOV's chairman, Dato' Abang Helmi, who lauded the approach, said the advantages of the Made in Malaysia product can leverage consumers' perception on local Malaysian products. thus urging small and medium-sized enterprise entrepreneurs to obtain Made in Malaysia logo to boost consumer confidence.
Yes, definitely. It is a good idea. And it has been going on, actually. There are so many manufacturers and traders, those people who own brands, the product. Very often you can see that that logo made in Malaysia. The main purpose of this logo is two things. One is it's good for us SME. Yeah? If we are in business, we have product that we want to introduce to people, products that we want to sell. The advantage of this is, people know that it is from made in Malaysia.
Okay.
And it depends on where you are going to sell. If you sell in Malaysia, people know. If you want to export also, people will see it is from Malaysia. There is an advantage there.
Businesses eligible to apply for Made in Malaysia logo are food and beverage products, services, beauty and health, fashion, accessories and crafts, home furnishings and agro businesses. Among the conditions of the application is to prove to have a 51% local ingredient or content. The products must be manufactured in Malaysia, whereby the house production companies must be registered with the Companies Commission of Malaysia and have a valid operating license from local authorities.
It is good, and but not every product can qualify.
I see.
I understand. It's only about if you have 51% of the product is sourced from Malaysia, macam raw material if the raw material 51% sourced from Malaysia, then you qualify. One of the conditions required to qualify to obtain this logo made in Malaysia.
All right.
Jadi it is not, I understand also, it is not compulsory. It's up to us, but it is to our advantage. If you want to use it, it is to our advantage. And then people see that it is Malaysia, made in Malaysia product. And then when there are campaigns to consume made in Malaysia product, then people will see the product and made in Malaysia. Then there is an advantage there for identification by the customers.
The logo consists of three primary colors, blue, yellow, and red, and is easily identifiable by the public. We've asked local traders on their insights on how Made in Malaysia logo can actually benefit their businesses.
So SME allow us to use a Malaysian-made logo and product for us to connect to our customers. Our products are mainly halal products. We are using mostly halal products ingredients such as crispy chicken, sweet potato fries, and enoki mushrooms, and so on.
Our logo is made from Malaysia and to attract local Kuching, local Sarawak, local Malaysia, and attract more foreign.
The Bidayuh Cultural Village is expected to be completed in April next year. The Associations of Research and Development Movement of Singai Sarawak Redeems Chairman Datuk Peter Nansian Ngusi said the 13 billion ringgit project is 64% complete.
Bidayuh Cultural Village. So Bidayuh Cultural Village will be ready by April next year. Kalau untuk izin, masa izin nanti lah kalau MCO normal kan. But we want to declare open if possible in 2022 July to coincide with our 25th anniversary of Redeem. Sudah 64% siap. Project of 13 billion. 13 billion. 13 billion. So now 64% done and expected to finish by end of March or April next year.
He said that with the Bidayuh Cultural Village centered at Kampong Apa, Singai Bau, it will be the main venue for carnivals and Gawai Dayak celebrations. With regards to that, Peter also revealed that his organisation received an additional allocation of 3.5 million ringgit to complete the cultural village.
I think maybe about 3.5, maybe 3.6. 3.6 like that.
Million.
Yes. just to complete lah, untuk complete saja, untuk complete projek itu dengan supaya ada complete dengan selesa untuk semua kemudahan-kemudahan yang kita perlukan.
He said this after paying a courtesy call to the Chief Minister, Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, at his office on Tuesday.
The Ministry of Works will speed up the implementations of the Pan-Borneo Highway project by appointing a project management consultant, PMC. The PMC will be appointed to assist the Sabah and Sarawak Public Works Department.
Senior Minister of Works Dato Sri Fadila Yusof said the appointment of the PMC was still in the negotiation stage, however, pending the final decision from the Ministry of Finance. The Petrajaya MP pointed out that the 2021 budget proves the government's commitment in continuing the implementation of the Pan-Borneo Highway projects in Sarawak and Sabah. He noted that the implementation of the Pan-Borneo Highway project was a catalyst for the development of the socio-economic, industrial sector and investments along the highway.
Kesenambungan projek ini juga akan menjamin dan memastikan peluang pekerjaan bagi penduduk tempatan, khususnya di dalam keadaan ekonomi yang terkesan akibat daripada penularan pandemik COVID-19. Ini juga secara langsung membuktikan komitmen kerajaan dalam memastikan rakyat Sabah dan Sarawak dapat menikmati kemudahan infrastruktur yang lebih baik di masa yang akan datang. KKR akan mempercepatkan pelaksanaan projek lebuh raya Pan-Borneo dengan melantik project management consultant untuk membantu JKR Sabah dan Sarawak. Walau bagaimanapun pelantikan PMC ini masih lagi dalam peringkat rundingan dan perlu menunggu keputusan muktamad dari pihak Kementerian Kewangan.
He said this in his winding up speech in Dewan Rakyat today. Fadila also revealed that the 115 million ringgit Sungai Limbang Bridge, Jalan Lawas Merapo project, was among the 52 new projects nationwide that had been approved for implementation next year. On road maintenance, he said his ministry was also committed to ensuring roads in all states are optimally maintained.
KKR juga telah mendapat tambahan peruntukan bagi beberapa aktiviti penyelenggaraan, iaitu pertama, penyelenggaraan dan bayaran bil lampu jalan dan lampu isyarat di Jalan Persekutuan tambahan sebanyak 2 juta berbanding tahun 2020. Dan yang kedua, peruntukan bagi penyelenggaraan Jalan Persekutuan Sabah, Sarawak dan Labuan kerja bukan pavement dinaikkan sebanyak 4 juta. Untuk makluman ahli-ahli berhormat, pihak kerajaan sentiasa mengambil berat terhadap penglibatan pihak kontraktor-kontraktor kecil dalam kerja-kerja penyelenggaraan jalan.
The government will consider declaring emergencies for the constituencies of Gerik in Perak and Bugaya in Sabah. This is intended to put the by-election there on hold and help prevent the further spread of COVID-19, as was done in Batu Sapi, Sabah.
According to Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Parliament and Law, Datuk Taqiyuddin Hassan, this, however, would depend on a risk assessment by the Ministry of Health and National Security Council. He added that for Batu Sapi, the Cabinet decided to ask Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin to advise the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to declare a state of emergency based on Article 150 of the Federal Constitution following the worsening COVID-19 situation in Sabah. On November 18, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah declared a proclamation of emergency in the Batu Sapi parliamentary constituency, hence postponing the by-election there, scheduled for December 5th.
Welcome back. Some 96.4% of students have agreed that the educational television program TV Pendidikan slot should be increased.
The survey was done by the Ministry of Education involving 600 schools, 12,506 students, 17,665 teachers, and 14,786 parents or guardians in 8 states, including Sabah and Sarawak. Senior Minister of Education Dr. Muhammad Razzi Jidin said the survey was conducted to determine the acceptance and effectiveness of TV Pendidikan among students, teachers and parents or guardians in rural and remote areas.
Selain itu, 98.7% murid, 98% guru dan 96% ibu bapa atau penjaga bersetuju tempoh rancangan TV Pendidikan dilanjutkan selepas tamat PKP. Berdasarkan dapatan ini, KPM telah menambah masa siaran TV pendidikan selama 4 jam lagi di Twitter TV Astro mulai 4 Mei 2020. Terkini, pada 23 November 2020, KPM telah memulakan siaran TV pendidikan selama 3 jam di saluran NTV.
He was replying to a question from Teo Ni Ching, Kulai MP in the Dewan Rakyat, who wanted to know the effectiveness of TV Pendidikan and whether KPM had plans to increase the educational program broadcast time. TV Pendidikan was reintroduced via TV OK for 2 hours a day, beginning April 6, making its total airtime at 9 hours per day, including on Astro's Tutor TV 4 hours and NTV7 3 hours. On the TV Pendidikan viewership, Muhammad Razzi said the program aired on TV OK since April 6 has recorded a cumulative audience of 1.8 million, while the program that was broadcast on the Astro channels garnered 5.4 million viewers.
Laporan ini menunjukkan bahawa TV Pendidikan telah membantu untuk meningkatkan akses murid kepada bahan pembelajaran, seterusnya meningkatkan penguasaan pengetahuan dalam kalangan mereka. Keberkesanan TV Pendidikan adalah dilihat dalam konteks perluasan kebolehcapaian, terutamanya oleh murid-murid di kawasan yang tidak mempunyai akses talian internet atau murid yang tidak mempunyai peranti.
The government is planning to reboot the National Service Training Program PLKN that was abolished 2 years ago. Defence Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said that the Ministry of Defence will propose the implementations of PLKN again during a wind-up speech in Parliament on 2021 budget earlier today. Ismail Sabri aims to instill values of patriotism and passion for their country among the Malaysian youth.
PLKN was a yearly 3-month program launched in the year 2004, aiming to train 18-year-olds drafted throughout the country to foster unity and patriotism in a multiracial environment. However, during the Pakatan Harapan administration, PLKN was replaced with the Youth Leadership Program when it was abolished back in 2018. It was previously mentioned that an average of 85,000 ringgit was needed to train a participant for 3 months. During the sitting, the suggestion to reboot the national service was brought up by Pontian Member of Parliament, Datuk Sri Ahmad Maslan.
There was no pig DNA found in meat samples from Old Town White Coffee restaurants. This was verified by the Malaysian Chemistry Department, which conducted an analysis following a viral video that claimed the curry mee of one of the outlets contained pig meat.
The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs KPDN HEP Enforcement Division Director Dato' Iskandar Halim Sulaiman said based on the results of the analysis, the meat do not contain pork DNA, but only traces of chicken DNA. He added that the restaurant owners under investigation did not commit any crime or violate the regulations under the Trade Descriptions, the Definition of Halal Order 2011, or the Trade Description, Certification and Marketing of Halal Order 2011. Iskandar assured that the ministry will conduct proactive and consistent monitoring to ensure food and beverage operators comply with halal regulations put in place. On November 15th, the Old Town White Coffee management said that it was considering legal action against parties which made the false allegations against it. The management also reaffirmed that all its outlets have had a Malaysian halal certification since 2010, and thus their ingredients for food and beverages do not contain pork and other non-halal items.
Top Glove Corporation Berhad will fully cooperate with the authorities to carry out temporary stoppage at its manufacturing facilities in Meru, Klang, following a drastic rise in positive COVID-19 cases among workers there.
In a statement, Top Glove said they have temporarily stopped production in 16 facilities in Meru, Klang, while the remaining 12 facilities are operating at reduced capacities. The statement also stressed that the safety and well-being of employees and the local community is of utmost importance towards containing the situation and to flatten the COVID-19 curve. Top Glove would also continue to follow COVID-19 preventive standard operating procedures. Senior Minister Security Cluster Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob in a media conference yesterday said a total of 28 Top Glove factories in Klang would be closed in stages to allow employees to undergo screening and quarantine.
Well, that's all for me for the Nightline. Remember, tomorrow, 5 p.m. with me again, Ruben Gomez, and tomorrow Nightline will be with Shira Abang Manso and Radzi Ahmad. Ruben Gomez, anytime, anywhere. Thank you.